warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, I'm going to talk about China-US conflict toward aviation industries. The US public opinion appears sour after three major Chinese airlines announced on Friday that they will buy a total of 292 planes from Airbus. The order, valued at more than 37 billion, is said to be one of the largest ever for Airbus. According to the Bloomberg, this China sending a sign and it's hurt Boeing terribly. Boeing also expressed its disappointment, complaining that geopolitical difference between the US and the China were brushing the company's business prospects and urging dialogues between the governments. If the Washington thinks that every deal China company signs with the foreign company has political consideration behind it, it can only show how serious Washington practice of falsely interfering in economic and trade with politics in recent years are. And they have formed an atmosphere in the American business and public opinion circle who see every brush and treat as enemy of soldiers. In fact, the Aviation Corporation is among of the three main planks of China-Europe Economic and Trade Cooperation. Airbus also have assembly plant in China, given the steady and matured cooperation, and it's not surprising that they continue to advance cooperation. Some analysts said the mega deal is the result of long and arduous negotiation in order by the major airline could have obtained a good bargain. In addition, the fuel efficiency of Airbus plane and the weaker euro may also be a factor that influence the price in all this normal business transition that is hard to find fault when, and the result is also equal and mutually beneficial. It is natural for the US side to feel sour after losing the competition to Airbus. Judging from the performance of these two companies in the global market since 2019, Airbus has been way ahead of Boeing in the term of competing for passengers plane orders and market share. On the other hand, this is partially due to safety concerns as flight operated by Boeing 737 MAX aircraft have still largely not resumed in various countries. In others, the restriction in the US supply chain has seriously affected Boeing delivery capacities. The company has to pause the production of 737 MAX passenger plane in May. So said that China Southern Airlines cancelled plan to purchase more than 100 aircraft from Boeing earlier this year. It is because of uncertainty over delivers. Again, these backdrops, instead of analyzing the motive of Chinese companies, the US should reflect on its government behavior. Who can feel really assured engaging in large-scale trade with a country that talk about decoupling frequently? Will the stick of sensation and often introduce bill to restrict trade with other out of thin air? Not to mention products like planes that they have long life cycle, are made of complex components and require professional maintenance. Such concerns, in many cases, are not even an act of state. It is about the political risk various business entities would think about before doing business. According to a previous assessment by the American Chamber of Commerce, if the US engaged in comprehensive decoupling with China and completely cut off sales to China in field of civil aviation, this would cause US output loss range from 38 billion to 51 billion and cause the US civil aviation manufacturing industry to shed 167,000 to 225,000 jobs. Boeing also said last year is the expected that Chinese airline will request 8,700 new airplanes in the next 20 years, value at nearly 1.5 billion. If the losses of 37.2 billion order now have made Boeing feel pain then let some American politicians continue to advocate decoupling from and build a high wall against China. By then, what American companies, including Boeing, will face will not be short-term but a long-term pain. Now, Boeing has complained about geopolitical difference affecting business, but China is not one of to blame. If there is any political factor in this, it can only be said that the US politicization of economic and trade issues has backfired. In 2021, the Biden administration agreed to put to rest a 70-year-old trade dispute over subsidies between Boeing and Airbus in order to win over European countries to join confront China. Now, after Airbus won wonder from the Chinese airline, the US public opinion has been flooded with jealousy. This may also remind the Europe of what is behind various ideals of the US claim verbally and Washington on the fact of political manipulation cannot trump over the law of the market after all. As for Boeing, the most important thing to do is not to express disappointment with China, but reason with the US government and Congress the law of the market of basic enhancing comprehensive of its own product. Of course, Boeing is not one need to do so. Thank you. That's all from me.